Some stories begin with quiet moments, ones that seem ordinary, almost forgettable, until something unexpected shifts the entire day. For Mark Turner, a single dad just trying to keep life steady for himself and his 7-year-old daughter, that moment happened on a rainy Tuesday morning. He was on the 42nd floor of a towering glass building, fixing a computer that belonged to the most intimidating person in the company, the CEO, Claire Whitfield. He had no idea that a simple glitch, a photo on a screen, and a single vulnerable question would end up changing both their lives. Before we get into this emotional story, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below. Your support helps us grow Kindness Action, a channel dedicated to stories that remind us what really matters in this world. Now, let's begin. Mark wasn't used to the silence of luxury offices. Everything felt too polished, the marble floors, the oversized windows, the plants that somehow looked healthier than anything he'd ever managed to keep alive at home. He arrived early, wearing the same gray work polo he always wore, hoping to finish the job quickly so he could make it to his daughter Emma's school event later that afternoon. Claire wasn't in her office when he arrived. Her assistant had waved him in, telling him the computer wouldn't turn on at all. "Just fix what you can," she said. "Claire has a big presentation later." She's stressed. Mark knelt beside the desk, quietly opening the tower, grateful for something familiar. Working with wires was easier than working with people. He rebooted the system, waited, and watched the monitor flicker back to life. That's when he saw it, a photo, pulled up on the screen, filling nearly the whole background. It was Claire, but not the polished, confident CEO he'd seen in news articles or passing through the lobby. This photo showed her younger, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. She looked tired, almost shy, wearing casual clothes instead of a power suit. The picture was simple, normal human. Mark wasn't trying to snoop. He quickly looked away, reaching to close the window, but the office door opened before he could. Claire stepped in, her heels tapping against the floor, her expression sharp as always. She opened her mouth to speak, but then she froze, seeing what was on the screen. Her face drained of color. Mark raised his hand slightly. I'm sorry," he said quickly. The computer rebooted and the picture popped up. "I didn't mean to." "Is that you?" she said, her voice tight. "Yes," he said softly. "But I didn't." Her gaze didn't leave the screen. She wasn't angry, she looked embarrassed. Hurt, even. After several long seconds, she sighed and sank into her chair, covering her face with her hands. "Am I pretty?" she asked quietly. The question stunned him. This woman was a CEO. She was powerful, respected, and feared by an entire company. Yet in that moment, she wasn't any of those things. She looked like someone who had been carrying too much for too long. Mark chose his words carefully. "I think you look real," he said. "And that's worth a lot more than looking perfect. Everyone deserves to have a version of themselves that they feel safe being." She looked up at him, surprised. He continued, "My daughter, she sometimes asks me if she looks pretty when she's upset about something else. It's never really about the mirror. It's about how she feels inside." Claire blinked several times, then let out a shaky breath. "I'm sorry. That was unfair of me to ask you." "It's okay," Mark said gently. "We're all human." For a moment, the room felt still. The rain tapping against the windows made everything softer, less sharp. She sat up straighter. "That photo, it was taken just before my mom passed. I didn't sleep for days. I wasn't taking care of myself. I keep it because it reminds me of where I came from. But sometimes I hate seeing it." Mark nodded. "I have a picture like that too." He reached into his wallet and pulled out a photo of himself holding Emma as a baby, taken during the hardest year of his life after Emma's mom left. "This reminds me of how far we've come. But it also hurts sometimes." Claire leaned back, her expression shifting from embarrassment to understanding. In that moment, they weren't CEO and technician. They were just two people doing their best. "Thank you," she said. "People don't usually talk to me like that." Honestly, Mark smiled softly. "Maybe they should." She laughed, just a little, but it was real. Maybe he finished repairing the computer, and Claire watched him work, calmer now. When he stood to go, she hesitated before speaking again. Mark. I know this might seem small, but what you said mattered. More than you know. Kindness matters to everyone, he replied. Even the people who look like they don't need it. Her eyes softened. If you ever need anything at all, please reach out. He thanked her and left, feeling lighter than when he'd arrived later that afternoon. As Mark watched Emma perform in her school assembly, dancing slightly offbeat, waving at him from the stage, he thought about Claire's question, am I pretty? He realized it was something many people silently carried, no matter how strong they appeared. A longing not just to be seen, but to be understood with kindness. Sometimes, the smallest moments, like fixing a computer, can open a door to remind someone they matter, and sometimes, offering kindness doesn't just help the other person. It strengthens something inside ourselves too, because kindness, freely given, has a way of echoing long after the moment has passed. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone who might need a reminder today. Let's keep spreading kindness, one story at a time.